So, in a bit of Schadenfreude, today's story is one of jocularity and satisfaction. Hollywood's dalliance with strikes is now over, and we've reached a tentative deal. And that's actually starting to play out in an odd way on Wall Street. Big media shares, once on the rise, are now a shambles upon news that the writers' tentative agreement is moving forward with the studios. And while Hollywood breathes a sigh of relief, the investors are grappling with a renewed set of market jitters. They're not happy about inflation or interest rates and potential government shutdown, although I'm not sure that's really that much of a factor. So, of course, that's my cue to come on and do this, which is dive into the business and finance side of this next phase of collapse. You ready? Here we go. So, here's the setup line. Who would have thought that Netflix would be the envy of Hollywood? Grant, would you have guessed that, bud?
Well, yes, I guess that would.
All right. Well, in an ever-shifting stock market, Netflix emerges as a lone ranger, defiantly headed upwards, leaving others with their heads hung low. Exhibitors who can finally see the light at the end of the strike tunnel are experiencing some robust gains across the board, and that's a good thing. And this, as you probably have already surmised, is all in stark contrast to the turbulence that's being faced by the big media groups. It's evident today, based on trading, if you paid attention, that Wall Street's verdict on the dual strikes by actors and writers has been kind of a mixed bag. Shuttered Productions did offer some big media companies some respite from the financial pressures of the streaming losses that they were, stacking like cordwood. CEOs actually navigated some earning calls with relative ease in the spring. But come August, or the most recent quarter, concerns started to surface from analysts and, investors. The fall television season went haywire, of course, and the movie release dates were playing musical chairs. Warner Brothers Discovery had some anticipated earnings hit of up to $500 million, but also announced a wave of free cash flow. So it's been rather confusing. The WGA's trying to play up a potential game changer with this latest agreement. And it's true. That's really what they're trying to do. You see, the Writers Guild dropped a bombshell on Sunday night, which I talked about right here. You can see it right there. Announcing a tentative agreement with the AMPTP on all deal points, which is amazing. Pending final deal language, we could see that vote happening today, Tuesday. And while the financial impact remains uncertain, the WGA leadership hails the deal as exceptional. They're promising gains and protections for writers across the board, and I guess that's good for them. The WGA deal actually paves the way for a settlement with actors, as many overlapping concerns were sticking points with them as well, and that would be, things like AI. So the main downside of this deal is, I guess something will have to suffer. Late night talk shows, late night comedy shows are poised to make a triumphant return, as they were not among the struck productions by the SAG-AFTRA folks. If negotiations proceed promptly, scripted production might be back on track by the end of October. Bummer. We almost got rid of them. However, the strike's length means some disruption to the 2024 TV and film output. That was going to be inevitable. And it'll be much less severe than if they'd actually made it all the way through winter and we were looking at January before any of these deals got shaken out. But we're really not out of the woods yet, and that's something I really can't say strongly enough. While the strike drama itself is inching towards the resolution, at least with the writers, Hollywood still has an array of challenges from, the financial side of stuff, like weak advertising, problems with direct-to-consumer strategies. They still haven't found one yet. And, of course, media stocks, which haven't been setting a whole lot of records lately, were briefly elevated or surged before they gave away most of those gains, and that's not a great thing. Warner Brothers Discovery took a substantial hit. They were down 2.5% to $10.82 on Monday. Disney, Comcast, and Paramount followed suit, but around 1% or slightly less than 1%. Disney, I think, is down at 81 and change. But one media company obviously bucked that trend, and I already mentioned them. It's Netflix to the rescue, as seems to be well, a recurring theme. All the other studios are adrift on a sea of uncertainty, but Netflix was up over 1% for the day. They're at 383.92, and all those other studios wish they could be there. Meanwhile, exhibition stocks like AMC Entertainment, they were up 9%. Cinemark was up, Marcus was up, they all kind of soared on this news. Theatrical was initially considered to be a bad risk due to the actors' strike impacting the release schedules, and obviously star-powered promotions they think actually do something. But the longer the strike, the fewer the studio films were going to be slated for the next year, and those fears have been somewhat assuaged, but I still suggest caution on being overly optimistic there. Why? Well, Hollywood's saga, at least with the strikes, leaves investors and executives alike riding on unpredictable stock market sea. Let's just put it that way. And while tentative agreements signal some hope for the industry's future, there are still echoes of uncertainty that continue to reverberate here. And again, those can be just maybe they don't vote for the deal. Maybe the actors hold out even longer, wanting more things that maybe we are not even aware of. And you don't have any of that settled yet. And you certainly have IATSE on the horizon waiting to, have their turn at getting treated properly in their eyes. So a premature celebration could actually be everyone's dooms here. But, friends, what do you think? Which studio do you think will have the last laugh in Hollywood, at least as far as the stock market goes? And what do you think the outcome will be? And when do you think they'll go back to work, actually? Those are good questions. Feel free to share your thoughts down below in the comment section. Hopefully we can have a discussion about it. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, see ya!